There are some weird things about our house that we just have to tell you about.
If you're from North America, you're going to find a few of these things very strange. So stay tuned. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Track Us Down. If you're just finding us, I'm Monique.
And I'm Doug. Our channel is all about retiring early, moving abroad, but mostly living what we call a better second half of life. And a better second half of life doesn't have to be in retirement. It can be any time that you're making a big change in your life, you're moving abroad, you're going to work abroad, or if you're retiring, that can be your second half of life.
We make our base on the beautiful island of Madeira, Portugal, and we have a Portuguese home. Today, we're going to share 5 things that we find a little weird about our Portuguese home.
So here we go. There are 5 things that we have found strange since we bought our Portuguese home here on the beautiful island of Madeira that we didn't expect and is completely different than what we're used to in the last 50 years of our life.
All right, I'm going to start with number 1. Number 1 is obvious to anyone from North America who shows up in Portugal or maybe Europe. I don't know. There's no screens on any windows. All the windows, whether they're small, big, anything, are just fully openable. You can stick your hand out, you can stick your head out, you could jump out if you wanted to, but they don't have screens. And I know screens don't actually stop you from jumping out a window or give you any real protection, but there's just a feeling there that there's something between you and the outside. As well, of course, screens keep out bugs. And we don't have tons of bugs here, but we do get the occasional fly or the occasional mosquito. But even one mosquito can ruin your entire night.
We haven't had any birds come in here yet, but a lot of fresh air. It's really great. But that one mosquito in the middle of the night, and that's it. We had to get screens.
So we have put screens on our Portuguese house, along with our Portuguese neighbors, mind you, who also put screens on their home, because at the end of the day, nobody likes bugs. So that's definitely something weird about Portuguese homes. What's another thing that's weird about Portuguese homes?
Definitely, I would say the locks on the door. They build beautiful homes here. They do great renovations, but I have never had so many keys in my life since we moved to Portugal. They have a lock and a key for every little gate, back gate, inner gate, door, bathroom door, bedroom door. There's a key for everything. I feel like Schneider walking around with all my keys. But it's more than that. The keys on the bedroom, that's fine. It could be considered kind of old-time charm or ornamental, so that's fine. There's no button in the back of the knob that you just push in and lock the door. There's a key. You can take that key out. You can lock it from the front or the back. I don't really feel too comfortable with that, but it's the main door coming in here that I find the weirdest thing. Our house, just like every house we've seen here, has a key to come in the front door, but that same key is used on the inside of the door. So when you go to bed at night, you use a key to lock your door. Now, I don't know where they make their fire codes or their safety regulations here, but I know back in North America, I don't think you'll find any jurisdiction that will allow you to lock yourself in at night. If you lose the key, somebody takes the key, and there's a fire and there's full of smoke and you have seconds to get to the door and get out and you crawl your way along and you reach up and there's no key there, you're locked in.
I can't imagine waking up in the middle of the night and trying to get out of a room and searching for a key. Or even if the key is in the lock, you have to actually work the key a certain way to make the lock unlock. Or being locked into a room. Somebody could literally use the key and lock you into a bedroom, which is strange too.
Yeah, between the bathrooms, the bedrooms, and especially the front door. We made some changes on that just to make it up to our code, as you can see here. So these are the locks they put on the doors. On the outside, this is fine. You got a key. About 3 or 4 big latches come down. Nobody's getting through this. The problem is, it's the exact same on the inside. I just found it so weird that if you want to unlock it or lock it at night, in the morning when you get up or before you go to bed, you have to lock it from the inside. So this is what we did. We went to our local hardware store, Leroy Merlin, and we bought a new cylinder, and this one comes with a knob on the inside. So that at night, we could just lock it, and morning, we could unlock it. If there's ever an emergency or fire, we had to get out quickly, we could just turn the knob. I didn't want to be fumbling around with a key in the middle of the night or in any kind of emergency. I found that so weird. I did not like the idea of putting a key in the door and locking ourselves in at night, so we went a different way, something that we were used to.
It's still weird, the whole key thing.
All right, what's number 3 on the weirdest things about our Portuguese home?
Okay, for me, number 3 that's really weird is cooking here in our Portuguese kitchen, in our Portuguese oven, mostly because it's all Celsius. Now, In North America, between Canada and the US, there's some differences, but we actually, in Canada, don't use Celsius to cook. We don't use grams. We don't weigh stuff. We use tablespoons and teaspoons, and the same as US. So all the recipes, when you Google here in Portugal, come up in milliliters or grams, and you have to either weigh stuff, and then you go to put the oven on, and it's at some weird temperature, and I don't know what 110 Celsius is. Or if I have a recipe that I've always done at 350, I don't know how I can't remember what Celsius is equivalent to 350. It takes me forever, and I'm constantly Googling. Check this out. So this is our oven in Celsius, and every time I go to put something in the oven, I have to get on my phone, and I'm looking, again, what is 350 that I want to bake at 176? It only goes up to 250 here. It's so weird. Maybe I'll get used to it in like 10 years. So 176, that's basically 350. That's all you need.
So the oven thing, I can get by with that. I also find it weird with the measuring. We went to buy a Pyrex non-breakable measuring cup. I just wanted cups, quarter cups, half cup, full cup. And we came back and I realized that this measuring cup, which is beautiful, was all in something called decaliters. So there was 10 decaliters, 20 decaliters. I don't know. I just want a half a cup. I don't know how many decaliters that is. So
we're supposed to know metric. Doesn't work for cooking. So we prefer to just change it all back to the way that we're more familiar with. But cooking in a Portuguese kitchen is a little weird because it takes a little more time to always be doing these conversions. Maybe if I remembered what the temperature equivalents were, it'd be better. But for some reason in 3 years, I can't remember. That's another weird thing about our Portuguese home. What's number 4?
For me, number 4 definitely is the security camera restrictions here. Coming from a law enforcement background, any city in North America, you can't walk 50 feet, you can't walk a block without being on camera dozens of times, if not more. And that really helps out when you're solving crimes or trying to find out who damaged your car in the middle of the night. Now, I'm all about privacy and protecting people's personal information, but I believe if you have done nothing wrong and you show up on a camera, nobody's sitting there watching what you're doing and reporting on it. It just flows through and nobody thinks twice about it. But when something happens in the middle of the night, it's nice to go back to a recording and see what happened. Here in Portugal, they have what we think are such weird privacy laws. Did you know that in Portugal, it is against the law to have a camera on your home that faces a public street or captures any part of your neighbor's home? So businesses or government buildings can have that sort of thing. But if you live in a residential area and you want to have a camera facing where your car parks or your driveway, all those cameras have to be facing inwards. You cannot record anything on the public street. And I just find that so weird.
For us, whenever we're out and about, we have zero expectation of privacy coming from North America, where you're always on camera, whether you're walking in a building or walking by someone's home. People have doorbell cams. You're always expected that you might be on camera. Here, they don't have that. And, I think maybe that's part of their history here in Portugal, where they have had different government systems way back when, where they now really value their privacy. But as the world's changing and things are changing in terms of video and your expectations, it'll be interesting to see if things change here. But for now, you're apparently not allowed to do that. As well, we've heard that if you are recording on your iPhone and somebody films you and you don't want to be on film, you can go up to them and say, you need to remove me from that film. That's really different for us. It's kind of weird because when we're out and about, anyone can be filming. It's just very different for us than the expectation we have.
There's no expectation of privacy in North America on a public street. Anybody can film you at any time. So it's completely different here that somebody can ask you to stop recording them or to take them out of that shot completely. But also, we've heard from locals that if somebody was, say, breaking into a door or a mailbox and it was caught on camera, but it's part of a public street, that footage cannot be used in court against them because you're not allowed to record onto a public street or capture any part of your neighbor's home. So all the cameras on your property must be facing in. So you can see what the people are doing on your property, but you can't see how they arrived or how they left. I just find it very archaic that you cannot have these kind of security cameras like doorbell cameras or cameras that just film where your car is parked.
That is weird.
So a great example of that is a few months ago, we had our car hit in the middle of the night by another car. We came out in the morning and there was bits of the other car around and there were skid marks. But we checked all the cameras around our neighborhood. People do have doorbell cameras, but what did we find out?
Well, our neighbor, for example, has a camera outside their gate. It does look like it's pointing exactly where we park our car, and it is. except for it doesn't record. It just shows live feed. So cameras pointing outwards look like, I think they're recording, but they're not. They're just pointing outwards because, as Doug said, you can't use recorded material that captures public areas.
I just find that completely archaic in today's digital world. Come on, Portugal, you got to change that. Balance that expectation of privacy with security for the people, because that's where it's at. Cameras capture everything when people are committing crimes. If you're not committing any crimes, then you have nothing to worry about. We got to catch those criminals.
Catch the criminals. So point number 5 is so silly compared to something serious like that. Point number 5 of our weird Portuguese home is our washing machine. Back in North America, we had a regular washing machine for 25 years, and it had cold setting, warm setting, hot, just the basics. Here, our washing machine has 27 settings. You can do 27 different kinds of loads, from a sports load to baby clothes to getting out. Paint has its own setting, to washing curtains has its own setting, and then a bunch of other temperature settings that I'm not really sure about. We mostly use the quick setting, which is half an hour in cold, but there's also a setting that's really hot that takes 3.5 hours. We don't use that one very often.
That's a long time. When you're running a wash and you're waiting for it to finish and put it out to dry, 3.5 hours, it just goes on forever. But never mind that. I want to try out that special paint setting. I'll get some paint on me. We'll set it to that as opposed to the sports wash. And that machine must do something special to get out that paint. 27 settings. Come on, let's go take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It goes to 27. There are 27 settings on this washing machine, including a curtain wash, a synthetic wash. I don't know what I'm washing. So every time we have to figure out which of the 27 settings that we want to clean our clothes. We just want them clean. So that's our washing machine. 27 settings. Still a little bit weird for us. All right, Doug, off the top of your head, we did our 5 weird things. Is there anything else about our house that you find kind of weird?
What was the one I said? The bonus one? The fridge. Yeah. Okay, there is one more bonus thing that we found weird since we moved abroad here to Portugal. Back in North America, we are used to what we call the American-sized fridge, the American-style fridge, which has the big fridge compartment and the big freezer compartment either on the top or on the bottom, and you can shove in as much groceries as you need for 2 weeks or more. Here, everything is so small and compact. It looks like a cupboard. You have a small fridge section and a small freezer section, but it works. We're used to it, but we found that weird for sure.
And in some apartments, we have seen even smaller fridges that look to us like camping fridges, but people are using.
I think that's more for an Airbnb type setup. Typically, though, their fridges and their freezers are smaller, but I think, it just encourages you to have a more laid back, go to the market, get fresh produce and fresh ingredients. You just have what you need for the week. So we're learning as well.
I thought of one more weird thing.
Okay.
Okay, so in our kitchen, we have a dishwasher. That's not weird. It's kind of a regular dishwasher, except for you have to put salt in a special compartment at the bottom of the dishwasher. Is that for hard water? Soft water?
I think you might find that in the country sometimes in North America, and it's to soften the water if you have hard water.
For 25 years, we've had a dishwasher. I've never heard of anyone putting salt in a dishwasher, but now we put salt in our dishwasher. This is the salt that we buy, and you put it at the bottom of the dishwasher. There's a little compartment. You fill it up just like you would detergent, and it does what salt does in a dishwasher, which is, I don't know. I have no doubt if people from Portugal went to North America somewhere that they would find things weird about North America every time you kind of go somewhere. But it's kind of weird funny. It's you adjust, you adapt, and now we enjoy all the things we've been talking about, or at least we have a good laugh about them with other expats.
Definitely have a good laugh with other expats. And, this is all fun and light. We enjoy the different things that we found here since coming to Portugal. We didn't bring any expectations with us. We knew that no matter what country you move to, when you are in your second half of life, there are going to be different things. These were just some of the fun things that we have noticed since we moved abroad here to Portugal. Although I do think that you should be able to have cameras that face outwards.
That's important.
If you like a good conversation about retiring early, moving abroad, or just living a better second half of life, please remember to like our videos and subscribe and give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate the support and the feedback.
And if you would like to support our channel, please check out our Patreon, where you can get to know us better and we can do online consults with you one-on-one if that's something you're interested in. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with us today. We hope you have a great day. And as always, check back in and
track us down.